Going on YouTube, quick update here on the ongoing gut challenge. So about 3 weeks ago, put out my last video and just kind of done an update on my second visit to the naturopath. Unfortunately, probably not long after that last video, things have kind of just fallen apart again. Again, with the guts, I'm at a bit of a loss. I don't understand why the change. And it hasn't been, any stomach aches or anything like that. It's just been this constant, non-stop bloating. And it doesn't go away for whatever reason. I've looked back at my diet over the last 2-3 months to see if anything has really changed that you could kind of pinpoint it to. Nothing's really jumping out at me there. So I kind of landed on 2 things, both of which I don't necessarily know if there's any solution to it. One of which seems to be this age-old problem of mine. When I get to about 180-ish pounds and I'm trying to put on some weight over the winter, hitting the gym hard, it just seems like as I ramp up the food intake, my body just for whatever reason just does not like that. And I can't peg it to one type of food. It just seems to be that there's just too much going into me and I just can't handle it. So one of the things I've tried over the last couple of days is just to, drastically reduce what I'm eating again. And I guess we'll kind of have to see how that plays out. It'll probably take a bit of time to see if that has any impact at all. And then the second thing, and probably the most frustrating aspect of it, is I'm thinking a lot of this is just tied into stress. When I went to the naturopath, I think that was the 9th of January. I hadn't gone back into the office yet. The following week back into the office. I felt good for kind of that second week in January there, and then I could slowly start to see things kind of getting worse again, and it's just been progressively, not necessarily worse since then, but just progressively in this state of feeling bloated non-stop from the minute I get up to the minute I go to bed. And I've done a little bit of digging to kind of see, could it be stress related? Certainly can, as far as I understand it, the stomach and the gut have its own kind of nervous system and it all ties in, and if you're stressed, then that reduces the body's ability to process food and et cetera, et cetera. So, is this something that I'm going to have to maybe be a bit more aware of and take certain measures to maybe mitigate some of this? Because when I first went to the naturopath in November, you kind of get towards the end of the year, typically work at an accounting firm is slower at that point in time. Everybody's just focused on Christmas holidays. No one could really care about tax returns and stuff like that. So things are pretty easy going. Took a couple weeks off towards the end of December and into January, so I had some time to kind of decompress, and maybe that was the reason why I was kind of feeling better at that juncture. Everything was just tied into stress, dropped the stress, and then some of this inflammation kind of went away and stayed away. And as soon as I get back in, I'm working 60 hours a week now, only to go up in the near future here. I don't have an issue sleeping at night, but I think there just is that underlying stress and this constant go from 4 a.m. till 9:30. There really isn't much time that I just sit down and take it easy, and it's constantly dealing with things that come up on an ongoing basis that you're able to handle and deal with it, but I don't think necessarily the underlying body and mind can kind of handle all this constant stressing and changing and stuff like that. So something, I guess, for you to kind of consider if, you know, you're having some of these gut issues. Maybe it's looking beyond, you know, what's going in, you know, what the supplements are that you're taking. Maybe it is kind of a stress thing. And at this point in time, I'm not sure how to kind of mitigate that. I mean, aside from kind of drastically changing the way that, you know, the accounting firm runs to be able to reduce my workload, I don't necessarily know how I'm going to be able to mitigate this stress, because there's just work to be done, and, you know, at this juncture it needs to be done. So maybe it's more of a long-term thing, figuring out how to kind of change the way that my work life goes in the first 4 months of the year to kind of drop down some of that stress. So something to keep in mind. Clearly a frustrating aspect for me, because it is something that I don't necessarily know how to fix, not in a simple way anyways. So try to be positive, try and look into stresses of your life, figure out what it is that might be leading to some of your gut issues that you might not be otherwise aware of. So have a good weekend, take care, talk soon.